A very good morning to all viewers joining us today on this special occasion. We welcome the esteemed Principal Madam, prestigious guests, benevolent teachers, and dear school fellows. Today, we are all here, although distant at places, not at heart, to mark the landmark of success by celebrating the 75th Independence Day of India. So I, Pranab Goswami,
And I, Achal Kalgutkar.
welcome you all to today's function on the behalf of the entire school. 75 years ago, our nation's first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, famously said, while the world sleeps, India awakes to life and freedom. 75 years later, their legacy still lives in the systems and ideals that drive our nation and its interests. We are the world's largest and most diverse democracy. Our electoral system earns praise worldwide, and though we have our fair share of problems and hardships, India is set to take the center stage of global affairs in the coming years.
Today, we are celebrating the Diamond Jubilee of Indian independence and have come a long way. Indians are at the forefront in almost every field. The most prominent example of the same is evident in international cooperations, from being in the upper echelons of politics and wealth in Britain to the highest rung of the ladder of tech companies like Google and Microsoft. From being in the top 10 billionaires in the world to recently winning 7 medals at the Tokyo Olympics, we are everywhere and are actively defining our world's future. बात ये हवाओं को बताए रखना, जहाँ रोशन होगा दिया जलाए रखना, की है हिफाजत लहू देकर हमने, उस वतन ए अजीम को रहती दुनिया तक कायम रखना. That being said, before we begin with today's celebrations, as you might have guessed, keeping up with the long drawn tradition, we commence with the flag hoisting ceremony on our beloved school ground.
झंडे को सलामी देगा सलामी से हाथ नीचे एक साथ राष्ट्रगीत शुरू करेंगे शुरू कर
We wish you all a very happy Independence Day. It is indeed a proud day for all of us. On this day, we got freedom from the slavery and 200 years of British rule in India. Roman Roland once said, if there is one place on the face of the earth where all the dreams of living men have found a home from the very earliest days when man began the dream of existence, it is India. With pride and spirit of patriotism in our hearts, our eyes are filled with gratitude and a sense of joy towards our nation's heroes and leaders who have paved the way for a brighter future. No event can begin without a classical touch to it, can it? And it is said, dance is to express, not to impress, and to watch people dance is to hear their hearts out. So up next, we present to you a semi-classical dance performance by grade 9 students Tanvi Kamath and Sumedha Sarma.
Wow, that was indeed a wonderful way to start this historical day, with indeed graceful and elegant performances showcasing classical Indian dance forms. Our nation has a rich history that stretches back thousands of years. In a sense, however, much effort has gone into making India, India, the landmark struggle that our forefathers had to face to give us a nation that is based on the principles of a free, libertarian, and egalitarian society cannot be expressed in words. CATC thus brings to you a video revisiting various glimpses of the Indian freedom struggle or the struggle for independence.
It was indeed an inspiring video. We must thank these national heroes as it is our privilege of being born in a free India. Those difficult times and struggles will always be etched in our hearts and would never be faded away. It's been 75 years of our independence. We have lived through various difficult times. However, it is nothing compared to the hardships faced by our national leaders. Here we have with us Tanishka to express her thoughts in English about the independence of India.
Good morning, respected teachers and my dear friends. Today we have all gathered here to celebrate Independence Day. Independence Day is a very important event for each and every citizen for India. 75 years ago, on 15 August 1947, India got independence from the British rule. For the first time, India hoisted its Indian flag on the Red Fort. Since that day, Independence Day is celebrated all across the nation. Today, we are free because of the sacrifices made by our brave freedom fighters and our soldiers. Independence gave us many rights like right to freedom, right to speech, right to education and many more. On this day, various events are celebrated by schools, colleges, private and government organizations. Our main motive is to remember the sacrifices made by our brave freedom fighters and the soldiers. We also pay tribute to the army who are protecting us from the enemies by standing at our borders. I am so proud to be an Indian citizen. Lastly, I would like to conclude saying that have pride in your heart, to our brave freedom fighters and soldiers. So let's together salute our nation on this Independence Day. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Tanishka. Your eloquence and powerful wordplay on pertinent issues of national concern manifest a sense of modern patriotism. Speaking of power, we have a talented young lady bold enough to step into the shoes of more than one characters all by herself. Presenting to you a mono ad by Miss Ria Godbole.
चंदा मामा आएंगे चांदनी संग लाएंगे सो जा बिटिया रानी तुझको आसमां ले जाएंगे Speak softly, very softly. The hunting dogs of those British wolves are prying on us. We have to be very careful. I have heard that these dogs can even hear our whispers. Remember, we have to continue the jump, the wall of our Rani Lakshmibai. I still remember the day when a young girl named Manu came to our Jhansi as a queen. She was 4 to 5 years younger than me, but she was so beautiful. When she walked, it seemed as if Goddess Lakshmi was walking. That's why our Rani was named Lakshmi Bai. But this Lakshmi Bai started looking sad when our Maharaja passed away. Maharaja had adopted Damodar, but the British refused to allow Damodar to take over the throne of Jhansi, and they started trying to establish their authority in Jhansi.
Thank you, Ria. Your
चंदा मामा आएंगे चांदनी संग लाएंगे सो जा बिटिया रानी तुझको आसमां ले जाएंगे Speak softly, very softly. The hunting dogs of those British wolves are prying on us. We have to be very careful. I have heard that these dogs can even hear our whispers. Remember, we have to continue the jump, the wall of our Rani Lakshmibai. I still remember the day when a young girl named Manu came to our Jhansi as a queen. She was 4 to 5 years younger than me, but she was so beautiful. When she walked, it seemed as if Goddess Lakshmi was walking. That's why our Rani was named Lakshmi Bai. But this Lakshmi Bai started looking sad when our Maharaja passed away. Maharaja had adopted Damodar, but the British refused to allow Damodar to take over the throne of Jhansi, and they started trying to establish their authority in Jhansi. And then we saw a new look of our Rani Lakshmi Bai as the courageous Ranchandika. She took out her sword and unleashed her rage on the British. Among all the noises in the war, one distinct sound was heard. मैं मेरी झांसी नहीं दूंगी, मैं मेरी झांसी नहीं दूंगी. And this challenge by our queen instilled courage in us. What happened, my child? Is my child thirsty? Oh, my baby. Chanda mama aayenge, chanda mama. The queen preached that if we want to fight with the British, we women also will have to come together in the battlefield. Really, Rani Lakshmi Bai breathed a new life in us. She was the real Chandika, the one who cut the demons. But the difference here was that the demons were the ruthless British. What happened, my child? Is my child thirsty? Remember, my child, if we want to have a good life in Jhansi, then we will have to fight.
Thank you, Ria. Your expressions were phenomenal, and those filled our hearts with patriotism indeed. Chandrasekhar Azad once said, "If yet your blood does not rage, it is water that flows in your veins. For what is the use of the flush of youth if it is not of service to the motherland?" Such inspirational quotes from freedom fighters always uplift our patriotic sentiments and encourage us to live for and serve our country. So keeping up with the Josh, we now have our CA junior heroes saluting and thanking our freedom fighters who gave their lives to give us a better future and made great sacrifices. We now present Class 7E students giving a tribute to our freedom fighters.
What an incredible display by our beloved 7th graders, symbolic of passing on the message of patriotism on this occasion of the 75th Independence Day. We now have the expressive, the articulate Miss Niyati Shenoy, who is going to evoke our patriotic spirits in Hindi, क्योंकि स्वतंत्रता दिवस राष्ट्रभाषा के बिना कुछ अधूरा ही है।
आदरणीय प्राध्यापिका महोदय, मेरे आदरणीय शिक्षकगण, यहाँ उपस्थित सारी महानुभाव तथा मेरे प्यारे साथियों, आप सभी को चिल्ड्रंस एकेडमी ग्रुप ऑफ स्कूल्स की तरफ से आज स्वतंत्र दिवस की हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं। आज का दिन हमारे भारतीय इतिहास का गौरवशाली दिन है, क्योंकि आज ही के दिन हमारी भारत माता ने हजारों वर्षों की गुलामी से मुक्ति पाकर आजादी की सांस ली थी। जी हाँ, आज 15 अगस्त है, हमारे देश का राष्ट्रीय पर्व। भला आज ही के दिन हम उन शहीदों को कैसे भूल सकते हैं जिन्होंने अपने देश की आन बान और शान के लिए अपना जीवन हंसते हंसते कुर्बान कर दिया। सरदार भगत सिंह, वीर सावरकर, सुभाष चंद्र बोस, बाल गंगाधर तिलक तथा अन्य सेनानियों ने अपना जीवन देश को समर्पित कर दिया। पूरे विश्व को प्रेम, अहिंसा, सत्य का संदेश देने वाले महात्मा गांधी तथा स्वराज हमारा जन्मसिद्ध अधिकार है का नारा देने वाले बाल गंगाधर तिलक ने आजादी की लड़ाई में अपना बहुमूल्य योगदान दिया। उन सभी सेनानियों की शहादत रंग लाई और 14 अगस्त 1947 की मध्य रात्रि को हमारे देश को आजादी प्राप्त हुई। आज हमारे देश की आजादी को 75 साल पूरे हो गए, पर अफसोस आज भी हम वैचारिक रूप से उन विदेशी सभ्यताओं को आंख बंद करके अनुसरण कर रहे हैं। पश्चिमी सभ्यता के वेश में आकर हम इतने स्वार्थी हो गए कि हम भ्रष्टाचार, बेईमानी, गरीबी तथा भेदभाव की भावना को बढ़ावा दे रहे हैं। आजकल तो त्याग की भावना का भी अभाव हो रहा है। हम हमारे कर्तव्यों से विमुख होते जा रहे हैं। हमें हमेशा ये याद रखना है कि हम मुस्लिम, हिंदू, सिख, ईसाई बाद में हैं, सबसे पहले हम भारतीय हैं। तो चलिए आज आजादी के इस पवित्र पर्व पर हम सभी भारतीय यह शपथ लेते हैं कि हम हमारे व्यक्तित्व व स्वार्थों से ऊपर उठकर हमारे देश की एकता व अखंडता को बढ़ाने में मदद करेंगे तथा हमारे देश की आर्थिक स्थिति को आगे बढ़ाने में भी महत्वपूर्ण योगदान देंगे। जय हिंद, जय महाराष्ट्र।
Thank you, Niyati. That was indeed insightful. सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदुस्तान हमारा, ये बुलबुले हैं इसकी, ये गुलसिता हमारा. It is said, when words fail, music speaks. And to enhance this feeling of enthusiasm, Ninad Velankar, Mudra Raval, Swarangi Ganu are here to fill the atmosphere with patriotism with their melodious voices.
ये देश है वीर जवानों का, अलबेलों का, मस्तानों का। इस देश का यारो, इस देश का यारो क्या कहना, ये देश है दुनिया का कहना।
मेरा जूता है जापानी, ये पतलून इंग्लिस्तान, सर पे लाल टोपी रूसी, फिर भी दिल है हिंदुस्तान। मेरा जूता है जापानी, ये पतलून इंग्लिस्तान, सर पे लाल टोपी रूसी, फिर भी दिल है हिंदुस्तानी।
हर करम अपना करेंगे ए वतन तेरे लिए, दिल दिया
मातरम वंदे मातरम।
ये दुनिया एक दुल्हन, ये दुनिया एक दुल्हन, दुल्हन के माथे की बिंदिया। ये मेरा इंडिया, ये मेरा इंडिया, आई लव माय इंडिया, ये मेरा इंडिया।
हम लोगों को समझ सको तो समझो दिल भर जानी, जितना भी तुम समझोगे उतनी होगी हैरानी। फिर भी दिल है हिंदुस्तानी, फिर भी दिल है हिंदुस्तानी, फिर भी दिल है हिंदुस्तानी, फिर भी दिल है हिंदुस्तानी।
Wasn't that an absolutely mind-blowing medley of CATC's melodious vocalists depicting India's strength and might through their varied jukebox of patriotic songs? Kudos, guys, that was enthralling. Dance has evolved as a way for us to express or communicate emotion, feeling, and ideas. With that in mind, the upcoming freestyle performance by Ms. Tanvi Kamath, Sumedha Sarma, and Sanika Asher is nothing less than an electric and skillful expression of national valor.
नच कोयलों पे रात बिताई है, अखियों की नींद मैंने। कुछ करिए नस नस मेरी खोले, हाय कुछ करिए, कुछ करिए बस बस बड़ा बोले, अब कुछ करिए। कोई तो चल जिद फड़िए, तू बेतरिए या मरिए, हाय कोई तो चल जिद फड़िए, तू बेतरिए या मरिए। शक दे हो शक दे इंडिया, शक दे हो शक दे इंडिया, शक दे हो शक दे इंडिया, शक दे हो शक दे इंडिया।
Now that's what we call a power-packed performance. And this has definitely taken our patriotism a notch higher. With this, I now request Sona ma'am to kindly enlighten us and speak a few words on this occasion. Occasion.
Good morning, everyone. On the August occasion of the 75th anniversary of our independence, I extend heartfelt greetings to my students, to my teachers, and to all you dear parents. This is one of those rare moments when the celebration and greeting is going to you through this virtual platform. Notwithstanding, the spirit of freedom must stay ignited and much alive. May we continue to enjoy our freedom on the August occasion of the 75th anniversary of our independence. Freedom of thought and freedom of choice. But this celebration is incomplete and without flavor. We stood together to achieve this invaluable freedom. We stand together now to fight the mayhem of COVID and seek freedom. Let's come together once again and fight the demon of this pandemic so that we no longer stand distant and alone. Let's wish and pray that we are free from